Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Together. कटाक्षकिरणाचान्तनमन्मोहामये नमः अनन्तानन्दकृष्णाय जगन्मङ्गलम् अवस्मितदाहं कदाचिन्नाहमप्रिय ब्रह्मैवाहं चिदानन्दलक्षणम् मय्येवोदेति चिद्व्योम्नि जगद्गन्धर्वपत्तनम् अतोऽहं न कथं ब्रह्म सर्वज्ञं सर्वकारणम्. Yeah, yesterday they forgot to connect this mic, which amplifies. Yeah, that is one of the reasons it could have been low. Yes, at some point in the middle of the class, I discovered that and connected it. So it had fallen off or not connected. Hopefully, that's the thing of the past. Kadachit na aham apriyaha. That joy, happiness, which I want. And what kind of joy? A joy that never comes to an end. The forever that I want, I already am. That is the idea. I already am that forever that I want to be. The limitlessness I want to be, I already am. This is the basic premise of Vedanta. The seeker is the sought. So the content, the nature of the seeker is what I seek to be. And what I seek to be is what I already am. Like the prince and the pauper story. The boy rummaging through the garbage cans, dustbin boy did not have to become a prince. What was he? Already a prince. He didn't have to fight somebody and get hold of the kingdom, overthrow somebody else who was there and become a prince. He was already a prince. Vatas siddha vastu. It was an established fact that he was a prince. That he is a prince is not in doubt. But he has viparita bhavana. He cannot go with the program. He has habitual orientations which make him behave like a beggar. Because he was used to that survival mode of saying shoo, shoo, shoo to dogs, cats, and crows, and then getting eating out of the dustbin. That is what he was used to. Otherwise, he would have gone hungry. So he was used to competing for his food. He had a territorial, what's that, connection with the dustbin. And this is my bin. You cannot eat out of this. That is the territorial connection he had. And even though all the riches were at his feet, it took some time to understand that. If he's not understanding that, it's a cognitive shift. It is a cognitive shift. You cannot, even if you bring all the delectable things in the world and put it at his feet, he will still go raid the dustbin if he sees a dustbin. Because in his mind, dustbin is equal to survival, food. Food is equal to dustbin. That's what he thinks. Maybe they should put a 5-course meal inside the dustbin and serve. And that's what they may have to do to make him understand. But he doesn't understand this because this is a cognitive shift he has to undergo, and then he overcomes his ignorance of himself as the prince. And the same thing here. We may laugh at this sad little prince who is raiding the dustbin, but what are all the jivas in the world doing? Raiding dustbins. That's all it is. Settling for leftovers, settling for scraps at the foot of the table, like a doggy. The dog sits at the table on the floor and paws at the owner. What about me? You throw me something, please. And then dog knows who has the least willpower, and the dog will go and sit right next to them only. Who has difficulty saying no? That's the person. Even if they're a visitor, somebody you've invited for dinner, the dog takes one look and sizes them up. Aha, that's where I will get all the tidbits. I'm going to sit here and beg and make those eyes. That the, what is that called? Puppy eyes. I'll make the puppy eyes at them. So they cannot, they'll say, oh, this poor little pup is starving for 3 days. The owners are terrible. They're not feeding him anything. And so the dog is waiting for scraps. So then you tell the dog, you give the dog a little lesson. And then you say, you know what? We have, this whole house belongs to you. And then you please sit on the chair, just like all of us. And we have put set a placemat for you, a plate for you, and all the things just like they are served for us. It will also be served to you. The dog listens like this very intently. Cocks its head to the one side and listens. Oh, that whatever they say sounds interesting. And you put it on the chair, immediately it will get down. 2 minutes into the meal, it will get down and still beg. That it cannot accept that. Just like the jiva. Bhagavan gives the status of Bhagavan to the jiva. And what does the jiva says? Leave me alone with my smallness. Let me cry. And then they will dress this ignorance up in all kinds of nonsensical rationale. I don't want to be the sugar. I want to taste the sugar. Taste the sugar means I can be in permanent Dvaita. Be the sugar means it's not so much fun because where is the taster? The taster has to become obliterated. And I like to taste the sugar. Very silly argument, so silly, really. If you are the sugar, you are sweetness itself. You don't have to taste it and wait for somebody to put a cube of sugar on your tongue. You're not a horse. But this people don't understand. So like the doggy begging for scraps, when the ahankara is dogged in its connection to, identification with, and fondness for scraps. Always settling for absolutely nothing, really. Learn to settle. And that's why one says yes to difficult things which should not even be there, out of a sense of obligation. One says yes to difficult relationship. Why? Well, once a year the person is loving on my birthday. So therefore, I will keep this relationship going. Are you out of your mind? What about the other 364 days? Well, it's okay. At least that one day. This is all a problem. This is all a problem of wrong identification, wrong orientation, and not knowing the meaning of forever. And we can't be faulted for not knowing the meaning forever because we don't know what is forever. That's why one settles for the time bound and hopes fervently, praying, saying that it will become timeless. How can the time bound become timeless? How can the finite become infinite? Not possible. There is no becoming here. The becoming is called samsara. Life of becoming something or the other. Life of becoming somebody or the other. That one is not. So to manufacture the forever becomes the primary, the first, foremost, and primary occupation of this jiva. What is your purpose in life? To produce the forever. I mean, you can't say that with a straight face, but that's what one does. To produce the forever and keep it forever from going away from me. It's easier to herd cats, really, than do this. Totally crazy. How can you do this? That's why one settles. One settles for dead end situations where one's life is really going in the wrong direction. One knows. Heart of heart, one knows this is not for me. This is a dead end situation. But I'm getting validated once a year. Twice a year, they say, oh, without you, this organization won't run. Ah, I'm sold. So that's why Vedanta is not very popular because we encourage you to validate yourself. We don't sit here keeping on validating you. That's not the job. That's not the job of the parampara. That's not the job of the teachers. That's the job of the Shastra. The Shastra says you are okay. You don't need validation because you are already lovable. You are already perfect. You are already okay. And if the individual teachers in the lineage kept on validating you and saying at a drop of every hat, you know what, you're okay. You know what, you're the best, east or west. And you know what, you are fine. And without you, nothing will happen. Not only are you fine, you are indispensable. That's what one wants to hear that. Ah. Even if somebody says you are dispensable, I imagine the word in front of it. They meant indispensable. One becomes a validation hunter. You're not a parking ticket. That's the only thing that needs to be validated all the time so that it doesn't run into a fine. If you keep looking for validation and expect validation, you will run into the finite all the time. Because whoever you're dealing with is also part of this Jagat. They also have projections. New broom sweeps clean. And if you are the new broom in the relationship, in the organization, then the other person will look at, or the other people will look at you and say, what? Ah, wonderful. Where were you all my life? How did this setup run without you? And there's a burst of self-confidence. Actually, it's not self-confidence, it's just pumped up. And there's a burst of feel good, yes, wonderful, mutual appreciation society starts. Everything is wonderful. I scratch the back and the back scratches me. No, that didn't come out right. What is that? Yeah, scratch me. No, back doesn't. You scratch my back. Yeah, see, there we go. I knew something was off slightly. I scratch your back, you scratch my back. This is the honeymoon period in anything, whether it's a relationship or in a job or in some kind of a connection. Anything. Honeymoon period has a Sanskrit name. Shobhana Adhyasa. Adhyasa, Adhi, Asaha. Projection. Projection upon something that it is not. Like seeing the silver coin in place of what? Mother of pearl. Mother of pearl, worthless. You're walking on the beach in the Bahamas. Sun is shining. Ah, something round and shiny. Desire comes to run to the beach. That's why it's called beach. Beach in Hindi means in the middle. Beach, beach mein. There is some problem. That's why. So you run. So difficult it is to run in the sand. But still you run because you've read somewhere that there are silver coins that have been released on some anniversary, some special occasion. You go there, throw it back into the water. This is Shobhana Adhyasa. Shobhana Adhyasa means a value that is given to a thing, a person, a situation, an event, or an entity, or an organization that is not there. That is not there at all. This is Shobhana Adhyasa. And this happens all the time. You have Shobhana Adhyasa with the person that you are connected to, with the organization you are connected to. You see it better than what it is. Why? Because maybe your livelihood depends on it. Or maybe you are deluded, whatever it may be. And they also have Shobhana Adhyasa on you. And they also see what is not there. Which is why the appreciation quickly turns into what? Bad reviews. 3 months later, 6 months later, 6 years later, whenever it has to come. This is called the other kind of projection, negative projection. Ashobhana Adhyasa. Shobhana means ornamental projection. Ashobhana means devoid of ornaments. Another projection, a negative projection. So first come what? Flowers. They do archana of you. Yes, Namaha, 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 wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. And then after that, rotten tomatoes. That's why the Bhagavad Gita says, lauding this knowledge. Tulya nindastutir mauni santushto yena kenachit. Tulya nindastuti. This is not the qualification, it's describing the person. Ninda cha stuti cha. So tulya nindastuti. Tulya yasmai. For whom? For whom? Ninda, criticism. And stuti means praise or equal. Mauni, the person quietly just witnesses, knows that this is somebody else's problem. If somebody is praising me, it's not to be taken, it's somebody else's problem, really. But what if it's true? If it is true, it doesn't belong to me anyway. Guru's grace, God's grace. I don't take it on. Now, if the ahankara comes in, it will cause distress and it will cause all kinds of havoc. If I take it on as I am indispensable, then Bhagavan will say, yeah. Ishvara will clear the throat and clear you of and disabuse you of that notion immediately, as he does in the 10th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita, which is a taking back of all the intellectual copyrights. You think you can sing? Sorry, it's me, not you. So you think you can dance? No, it is me, not you. You think you can cook very well. Not you, me. And then he lists all the things in the universe that are just everything which is wonderful is him. Not so wonderful, that's you. Okay. Yeah. And then he gets tired of listing. He lists 46 things in the 10th chapter. 46 or 56, we have to count and see. Yeah, some huge amounts of things. And then after that, he just concludes, Yadyad Vibhutimat Sattvam, wherever there is a glory. Avadharaya, you make sure you know that it is not that glory doesn't belong to the entity wherein it shines. That glory belongs to me. So this is how to be free of other people's Shobhana Adhyasa. If they say you are indispensable, scratch out the in and then know that the truth is that one is dispensable. This is true. One is eminently dispensable. Oh, they can't manage without me. What did they do before you came into the picture? Did the place not run? No, not as efficiently. That's your conclusion. And even if it is true, you are not running it. Bhagavan is running it. It's a gift, it is given. And in the same way, when the bouquets turn into the tomatoes, then also you say, it is what? It is not me. Because if you take in all the praise, then of course you will take in all the blame and mount a defense. You can't even talk to the person about anything. You just say, yeah, I know. I haven't even talked. Yes, I know. This would be nice to do if you tell somebody, oh, I know that. I've always done this. Or if you say, this is not to be done, then too. No, I never do this. Who said I do this? Why do you think I do this? Do you think I do this? Oh my God, I'm falling apart. So rescue me, save me, say some nice things about me right now. Take care of me. I have become a baby. I have given my Viveka over to the inner child. Inner child cannot be asked to have Viveka. Poor thing. What does it know? The person, every jiva comes with or should come with a board, fragile, handle with care. What is the care here? Fragile, what is fragile? Ahankara is fragile. What is this ahankara? Do you know the definition of ahankara in the Shastra? Vicharam yat na sahate. That which cannot handle inquiry, like the modern day politicians. You inquire into them and they drop out of the race because there's something lurking behind. Vicharam na sahate. That which cannot handle inquiry because it just disappears, it is mithya. Mithya ahankara is fragile. So if it is mithya, ultimately non-existent, then I'm investing so much time in it. And so much I want to keep it going. In fact, in Vedanta, the sooner the ahankara crumbles, the better it is for one's progress. Better it is for one progress. Because whatever you think of yourself anyway is wrong. It's a notion. It's totally wrong. I'm a woman. Wrong. You're not a woman. You're Satchidananda. I'm a man. Wrong. You're not a man. And this is the basic identity. What to talk about other identities? I am educated. Wrong. No, I'm talking on the everyday level. That's the problem. I'm trying to tell you to not live in the everyday level. That exactly is the problem. The everyday level is a whole level of divisions. Get out of there in a hurry, pack up, run. Even don't even pack up, just run. Pack up your senses and run. Run away from this everyday level. What is this everyday level? If you wanted to live in the everyday level, then why do you come for 1 hour class 3 times a day? That time you want to suddenly, vroom, take a jet to Paramarthika and then come back and then live in mired by Pratibhasika, not even Vyavaharika. It's only straight away Pratibhasika, subjective reality. There is no objective reality except as it comes through your head. There's only Paramarthika and Pratibhasika, that's all there is. So if 3/4 of your life and 3/4 of the day, not even 3/4, just 24 minus 3, yeah, that's all. Other than 3 hours, okay, we'll count sadhana panchakam also. So 4 hours. 4 hours you will want to live in Paramarthika, the rest of the time in Pratibhasika. Why should I waste my time? No, I'm a human being. That's the problem. That's a notion. You're not a human being. Cut out human, you're a being. That's all. No, but. There is no but. Make the but out of this argument. This is not even an argument that you can win anyway. Jiva 0, Atma 100. See, I can give you 100 reasons why you are not to live in this day to day. Why cognitively you have to allow the Shastra to extricate, to enable you to extricate yourself from this mired reality, mired in division, mired in distress. Where there is no distress, you see distress. Where there is no pain, one manufactures pain. Where there is no doubt, one manufactures doubt. Aghatita ghatana patiyasi maya. It's the ajnanam in the form of maya makes the impossible possible. And so if you have to understand that I am what is being talked here, kadachin na aham apriyaha, you have to let go of this pratibhasika based living. Pratibhasika is the subjective projections. One is living in from one is just swinging from one subjective projection to another, like Tarzan. Yes. Keeping on whining. Ah, wake up. Embrace this. And this is what is needed to do to understand this. Kadachit na aham apriyah. In the Yagyamalkya Maitreyi dialogue, which we talked about when? Abba. Not in the last birth, okay? Yesterday only. There, he makes this very point. He says that everything becomes lovable. All the objects in the world become lovable to the eye. Why? Because the eye is already lovable. For the sake of the self that is already pleased, objects become pleasurable. So the high that one gets after eating a piece of chocolate cake, let us say, or doing something that one finds pleasurable is because the pleased eye comes out. The pleased eye is either latent or it is overt. Like an ocean, sometimes the ocean is calm. You go to the ocean and there are, of course, waves, but it is calm. Sometimes it is a roaring ocean. Nonetheless, it is ocean because it is full, purna, complete. It is not waiting for some river to join it. When are you going to come? It is not waiting in anticipation. Apuryamana pratishtham samudramapah pravishanti yadvat tadvat kama pravishanti sarve sashantimapnoti na kamakami. Apuryamana, oceanic, in the fullness I am. Achala pratishtha yasya. Achala pratishtham, meaning the foundation is unshakable from this understanding that I am fullness itself. And what is this? The ocean. And if the ocean had a human mind, it would just not wait for the rivers to come and not mourn the rivers and the rivulets that died on the way, that dried up and did not join. When the rivers come, it says, no, no, no room for you. It doesn't say that. If they don't come, it doesn't sit and cry. Salty oceanic tears. So, here is a beautiful metaphor in the second chapter, towards the close of the second chapter in the Bhagavad Gita. Apaha pravishanti samudram yadvat. Just like the waters of the rivers here, that's not specified, we have to say, enter the river. Sorry, the ocean. Just like the river waters enter the ocean, tadvat, in the same manner, kamaha. All kamaha means here, not just desires, desirable objects. Kamaha, desirable objects. All the desirable objects enter this person who is full of this knowledge, full of this contentment brought about by the assimilation of this knowledge. Kamaha pravishanti sarve, sarve kamaha, with all objects of desires. Enter this person. Enter means not literally. Enter the mind, the awareness of this person. And like the full ocean does not grieve or does not have a longing when confronted by objects of desire. Why? Because the objects of desire for the ocean here, the waters are just itself alone. I'm already full. And then everything else in life is a cherry on the cake. I'm already full. I can appreciate this. If I come to the world with a sense of victimization, if I approach the world, then everybody is out to get me. It's a very sad state of affairs. That feeling that I am targeted, I am victimized by other people's omissions and commissions. You see, because then I become a beggar of other people's behavior. Then I have to beg, like, oh, please behave nicely towards me. Please take care of me. And nobody does that. Why will they take care of me? Nobody will take care of you. And so therefore, one feels permanently victimized. It's a very disempowered way of being. And then, or we can say, if one feels like I have to set the world right, it's the opposite of victim. What am I? Aggressor. I have to aggressively show people this is the way, my way or the highway. Then also I become a miserable person. Because who is going to listen? No one. No one's going to listen. Oh, but I have guns. Doesn't matter. Yeah. Shoot. After that, what will happen? You will only have guilt. You will only have hurt. And then if you shoot everybody, you'll be lonely. You'll just then say, who am I going to do this? This all is there in the Bhagavad Gita. This is Arjuna's lament. Even though they are the enemy, he says, that they the Rajya is for whom? Victory is for what? Victory is for the sake of kingdom. Kingdom is for the sake of whom? Enjoyment. Enjoyment comes when we can enjoy together. He says that. He does not understand fully, but he's talking from one level which makes sense. So this oppositional consciousness here is not Satyam Jnanam Anantam, this oppositional way of living in the world, good, bad, victim, aggressor, and then what? So many things like that, black, white, this way, that way. These are all dyads, binary thinking. And the binary thinking is just where the ego likes to thrive. The ahankara thrives in binary thinking. But Yajnavalkya's teaching is beyond that, and it is something we have to see. So all the objects of desire enter this person who knows I am Brahman. And then what happens to them? Then they don't make a difference in the person, because the person is already contented. For the rich person, see, for the rich person, you give $1 more to Bill Gates. You say, come here, give the dollar. Any difference it makes? No. Or you take away $1, no difference. Like that. Everything is $1 for this person. And so Yajnavalkya therefore says, Atmanastu kamaya sarvam priyam bhavati. Everything becomes lovable for the sake of this self that is already pleased. And then he spells it out. Nava are patyuh kamaya patyuh priyo patih priyo bhavati patih priyo bhavati atmanastu kamaya patih priyo bhavati nava are jaya yai kamaya jaya priya bhavati atmanastu kamaya jaya priya bhavati nava are putrasya kamaya putraha priyaha bhavanti atmanastu kamaya putrah priya bhavanti. And then he says, he takes all the things in the universe, all objects of love, desirable objects. And then he concludes everything. Atmanastu kamaya sarvam priyam bhavati. Excuse me. Patyuhu kamaya, it's not for the sake of the husband that the wife loves the husband. Not for the husband's sake. Even though she'll say, what? I sacrificed so much for you. Nothing she would have sacrificed. But the talk is like that. Yeah. I gave up so much for you. All we have to say, see, is do a little more Atma Vichara, self-enquiry. You just ask the person, why did you give up? You don't have to give up. Don't give up. No, how to not give up? I gave up. And then I gave up so much. And then I'm not happy. So you have to make me happy because I have sacrificed so much for you. This is called codependency, okay? Yeah. Then the teacher says, I give up. Because I can't convince. Atmanastu kamaya patihi priyo bhavati. So all the time she is loving the husband, she is just wanting him around for many reasons, not for the reason of the husband. Paycheck is good, okay, keep him. And then what else? And then there is some companionship. Even in the most dysfunctional of marriages, some moments of joy are there, some companionship is there. All right, let him hang around. Once or twice a week, he takes out the garbage. Theek hai, all right. Keep it. Bhaja Govindam says, as long as he's alive, he's dear. And one day the husband died off. In Bhaja Govindam, okay? Yeah. A hypothetical husband. Yes. Ram Nam Satya hai, died off. And then what? What did the wife say? The wife said, get this thing out of here. That same body of the husband, which was so lovable to her, she jealously guarded that body from other busy bodies. Ah, you're looking at my husband wrongly. Get away. Shoo, go away. She jealously guarded the husband's body, the husband's time, the husband's, everything. It all belongs to me, 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 me. When that Satchidananda, as though departs from the body, the expressive, the dynamic part of that Satchidananda. It is still Satchidananda, but it is latent. The expressivity is gone. The Sukshma Sharira took it with it. When Satchidananda in the form of the Sukshma Sharira, the subtle body departs from that, then what does it become? Dead body. What happened to all her love? She doesn't want to keep the body even for a minute. She says, take this thing. Before it was, oh, you wonderful him. Now it is this thing. It is neuter. Gone. Bharya bibhyati tasmin kaye. Bhaja Govindam says. Same thing. Nava are. Jaya yai kamaya jaya priya bhavet. It's not that we're only talking of husbands. Yajnavalkya is very equal. Because the wife is not dear to the husband for the sake of the wife. So the husband also cannot say, I'm sacrificing so much. What you have made of me, how I just, so much I've given up. I've given up this, I've given up that, I've given up that. Give up the giver upper, okay? Yeah. Oh, nobody is a better husband than I. I've given up so much. Atmashladha means keep on doing puja to yourself. Yeah, I have to give up, I have to give up, I have to give up. Shut up, okay? I haven't given up anything. The wife is dear to you, not because of the wife, but for your own sake, for the sake of your own security. You don't know what to do without her. You are so lost. You don't know where to go. You don't know how to start your day. You don't even know where the coffee is kept, let alone how to make it. Somebody came, this man came and he said, I'm looking for a wife. So please help me. I'm not into matchmaking, all right? Yeah. Please don't give wrong things. Swamiji, if you have somebody in mind, please keep me in mind. Very plaintive request. Already 40 plus. So I said, okay. I said, look, I said, these days, people don't like all these traditional ways of being. Traditional Indian man is the last thing that people want. So what can you do, like around the house and everything? So just tell me so that I can tell if I meet somebody that might be compatible, I can tell. And very proudly he told me, Swamiji, I can boil water. That's why the wife becomes lovable. Because she can not only boil water, add the tea leaves also she can do. So the spouse becomes dear, not for the sake of the spouse, but because of this. The friend also is to children. Yeah, children are talked about next. Putrasya kama. Putra means child. Son, daughter becomes dear, especially in traditional families. Because I don't have to go into nursing home. That's why they become dear. Because that's how it is in traditional societies. They're taken care of. They are the ticket to your retirement and your future. So therefore they become dear. Let the so-called child say, right in the beginning, after they turn 21, let them say, Mom, Dad, you're on your own. Bye-bye. Yes. Then tell me how much lovable they are, honestly. No such thing as unconditional love. This is what is being talked about. Unconditional love, to understand, you have to get Vedanta first. Then you understand yourself as that unconditional love. That's all there is. There is no unconditional love coming from various sources in the Jagat. Not possible. Then the job is dear to you because of the paycheck it gives. And if you say, I don't need the paycheck, I'm already wealthy. Well, the job is dear to you because it tells you what to do with 8 hours of your time. Otherwise, you would be tearing your hair out in clumps. You would be going crazy. It gives you an outlet. Friends, mitrasya kamaya. Friends are not dear for friends' sake. You love the friend because they always pay whenever you go out to lunch. Or any other quality. Supposing the friend stop paying, then you will stop going out for lunch. Yagyavalkya is an honest man. He just tells you things as they are. In every marriage, there is a sankalpa take. In Christian marriage, what is that? What is the verbs? In sickness, as in health. In riches, as in poverty. I am with you until I'm not. When the going is good, I love you so much. And then what? Sickness comes. Sickness is there. Emotional sickness, mental sickness, physical sickness. I'm off. Bye-bye. Richness is there. I'm with you. Poverty is there. You who? Do I know you? Atmanastu kamaya sarvam priyam. If that pleased self is not recognized as pleased, already pleased, needing nothing, is everything, then there is no problem. If it is not recognized, then I depend on all these things to manufacture the pleased self. And that is just like, it's an impossible situation. It's an impossible situation. It's like the task of Prometheus, some kind of a Greek celestial. He attracted some curse. I don't know the stories. I'm not very good in our own Puranas. Let us forget Greek Purana. Okay? Yes. So, but anyhow, he had a punishment. That's the point here. The punishment was to roll up the big boulder up the hill. And then what? Whole night he had to do that. And as soon as he completed the task, he wiped his brow and came rolling down. Again, he had to do that the very next day. That is exactly how one is leading one's life. That's why these stories are there, to be able to understand this. Kadachit na aham apriya. So then what is my Swarupa? Satchidananda. Sat, I am. And that amness is not dependent upon the finitude of the body, mind, sense complex. An amness and isness, an existence that is free of being terminal. It's not a terminal existence. It is an infinite existence, a glorious existence that I own up right now. I don't have to wait. Right now I see that. Aham asmi. And I am all knowledge. No, there you lost me. How can you say I'm all knowledge? What is the meaning of all? Things I don't know plus things I know constitute all, right? Do you know what you know? Do you know that there are many things you don't know? Yes. Okay, then you are all knowing. Yes. Sarvajna, all knowing. I know that I don't know. That is all knowing. That is what is all knowing. If you say I'm Greek, I don't know Greek language, that means you are saying I know that I don't know. You're all knowing. Ignorance is of all the things in the universe, and even self-ignorance, evident to you. If self-ignorance were not evident to you, you would not be in this class. Ignorance of objects, evident to me. Ignorance of subject, evident to me. How can it be evident to me if I'm not all knowledge? Think about it. Chit, knowledge, all knowledge. And how long is this existence? Forever. How long is this knowing? Forever. The knowing being that is free of sorrow forever. This is my Swarupa Lakshana. Ataha, therefore, see now this therefore was a very heavy laden, therefore it took 2 classes to come to this. Only Bhagavan has to take care how to finish this text. Yeah. So, but we can't gloss over many things. And Pujya Swamiji used to teach this text. He used to take 4 or 5 classes just on this one verse, because it's a foundational verse. And I'm hoping that once we do this foundational verses, the rest of it will go a little faster. And Ataha, therefore, a very pregnant therefore, heavily pregnant therefore, which we had to unpack because we can't just say therefore. The therefore that was laden with all these understandings and arguments that had to become to be properly understood and assimilated. Katham na aham brahma. No, that's the verse number 3. Atoham, what is that? What's the verse number 2, second line? Brahmaivaham. Yeah, the third, I mistook the third one. Yeah. So, Brahma eva aham ataha. Therefore, I am Brahman alone. I can't be anything else. Why? Because the definition of Brahman, surprise, surprise, and the definition of me are one and the same. Just like the definition of gold and the definition of ornament are one and the same. It's one and the same. The shine of the gold does not belong to the ornament. It is just belongs to the gold alone. It's all gold. So this Brahman has an intrinsic definition without which it cannot be. Like the intrinsic definition of water. Sheta hisa jalasya prakritihi. Confusing sentence because there is feminine and neuter. Sheta is going with Prakriti. Prakriti feminine. Sa, she. So the Prakriti. Shita hi sa Prakriti. Prakriti shita hi sa. The nature of water is cool. Without coolness, water cannot be. Oh, I just boiled some water. The heat in the water belongs to the water or the fire? Fire. It's borrowed heat. Because if you set it there, then what? It reverts back to its original Lakshana, which is what? Coolness. And the Lakshana, the Swarupa of the Swarupa Lakshana of fire is hot, heat and light. So, like this, the Swarupa Lakshana of Brahman is Satchidananda. The Swarupa Lakshana of the jaded, faded Jiva, like those holy genes, genes with holes in them, that is the Jiva. Frayed, pun intended, afraid, is also what? Satchidananda. Really? Yes, really. How did you arrive at this oneness? Because you cannot be without this awareness. You cannot be without this self-consciousness. You cannot be without knowledge. Without everything becoming evident to you, you cannot be. That is your nature. You cannot be without being self-evident. And you cannot be without happiness. Even the saddest person wants to be happy. This is, so therefore, even the suicidal person wants, you find out why the thing is, why are they doing this? If the leader of Turkey was going in the motorcade, found one fellow about to jump off the bridge. He stopped, asked the people, why is he jumping off the, oh, terrible debt and terrible sorrow. And somehow he said, I'll take care of that. We'll take care of that. Apply to the office. Come meet so and so. Don't give up your life. Some lucky day, some karma fructified. Do you think he said thank you and then proceeded to jump off the bridge? No. I don't want to come to an end. I want to be happy. And that happiness is the nature of myself. Even the person about to commit suicide knows. Is just overwhelmed by other things and has identified with the state of the emotions and the state of the mind. That is the problem. And if you can convince the person not to identify with that, even for 5 minutes, then you can talk them out of it. That itself shows I am Ananda. I love Ananda. I am Ananda. And what is Brahman? Satchidananda. The nature of Brahman is given in the Taittiriya opening, the opening mantra of the Taittiriya Upanishad in the second Valli, Brahmananda Valli. Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahma. It's Mahavakya. That shows that oneness between me and Brahman. The oneness between, I'll just take a few minutes so we can finish this verse. So the oneness between me and Brahman is established where? Satchidananda. And if you unpack the word Satchidananda, at the level of existence, oneness is there. I am existent, Brahman is also existent. But then, big deal. So what? I know. Chit. At the level of Chit, the oneness is there. Brahman is sentient, I am sentient. And that is one awareness. That is the level at which it matters. Anantam Sat, endless Sat, endless Chit, which is Ananda. Satchidananda Lakshanam. How can I not be Brahman? Of course I am Brahman. This is what is called Brahmanaha Swarupa Lakshana. Swarupa Lakshana means the intrinsic definition of Brahman, without which Brahman cannot be. Sat Chit Ananda at the level of the individual, Satyam Jnanam Anantam at the level of the macro, one and the same. There is a lot of owning up to be done. You have until 7 o'clock this evening. My time. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Nasya Purnamada Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Yo Namaha Hari Om